I mean, seriously, guys. The church wants you gone, destroyed, murdered. They don't want you in their kingdom. You are in their kingdom. You're an apostate. They're allowing you to continue to spread the lies so that the church can pretend to be the victim. They want you destroyed just like the homeless. And they're planning on doing it in the coming days.
Coming days. Between now and when he comes again. In coming days. The Lord wants all his children to partake of the eternal blessings available in his temple. He has directed what each person must do to qualify to enter his holy house. All requirements to enter the temple relate to personal holiness. To assess that readiness, each person who wants to enjoy the blessings of the temple will have 2 interviews. First, with a bishop, bishopric counselor, or branch president. Second, with a stake or mission president or one of his counselors. In those interviews, several questions will be asked. Some of those questions have recently been edited for clarity. I would like to review them for you now. Are you a full tithe payer?
The mandate given by the First Presidency and the presiding bishopric is to only focus on financial growth. EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again.
One of our brethren some years ago spoke of the payment of tithing as fire insurance. Nonetheless, the word of the Lord is clear that those who do not keep the commandments and observe the laws of God shall be burned at the time of his coming. For that shall be a day of judgment, a day of sifting, a day of separating the good from the evil. I would venture a personal opinion that no event has occurred in all the history of the earth as dreadful as will be the day of the second coming, as fraught with the destructive forces of nature, as consequential for the nations of the earth, as terrible for the wicked, and as wonderful for the righteous.
We do not say that all of the saints will be spared and saved from the coming day of desolation. But we do say there is no promise of safety and no promise of security except for those who love the Lord and who are seeking to do all that he commands. It may be, for instance, that nothing except the power of faith and the authority of the priesthood can save individuals and congregations from the atomic holocausts that surely shall be. And so we raise the warning voice and say, take heed, prepare, watch, and be ready. There is no security in any course except the course of obedience and conformity and righteousness.
A refuge from the storm and from wrath when it shall be poured out without measure upon the whole earth. While we are powerless to alter the fact of the second coming and unable to know its exact time,
I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith. But it will not be saved in Washington.
If there are any among this people who should ever apostatize, prepare your backs for a good whipping.
What you've told me, Kim, is very serious.
I can't have a temple recommend.
Between now and when he comes again, coming days.
Travis Wayne Goodsall, I have been informed that tithing settlement, now called tithing declaration, is being done way super early before even conference this year. And in fact, the particular ward that I was given the notification of is for September. From the 1st of September to the 29th of September. Here's the message that was sent out and forwarded to me. We will be conducting tithing declaration in 15-minute time slots beginning at 2:30 p.m. each Sunday from September 1st through September 29th. All members are invited to meet with the bishop to declare their status as tithe payers and ensure their contribution records are accurate, unless alternative arrangements are made. Each meeting will take place in person in the bishop's office. Whenever possible, all members of a family, including children, should attend together. Now, assuming that this is church-wide, the identity of this ward will not be revealed. I see the Mormon employee is out of church and at work. I'm resuming cyber terrorism. You notice that the 2 videos I did this morning, no problems. Mormons are evil. They are incapable of doing good. And thus, likewise, is tithing. It comes from section 119. It is a criminal racket. It's what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints of Brigham Young got dissolved for in 1887 with the Edmunds-Tucker Act. And so, yeah, the church is a criminal organization, and thus why they are criminal, committing cyber terrorism to silence me and not other ex-phone nevermos. And so, section 119, I require all their surplus property to be put in the hands of the bishop of my church in Zion. This is not Joseph Smith's linguistic fingerprint. His is section 64 that comes from Malachi. Malachi's version of tithing is that the tithing goes to the poor. Even as a kid, I read Malachi because the church keeps using it with tithing settlement and all that stuff. And so when I read it, I'm going, oh, tithing is to help the poor. Bishop Storehouse. The poor. And knowing that they didn't give money back then, it was food and other physical needs, goods and services, it's very clear that vegetables and fruits have seeds in them. So when you give an apple, you're also giving seed to that person who can then plant the seed and grow apple trees with multiple apples with multiple seeds, and thus they're capable of taking care of themselves for the rest of their life, assuming that the weather cooperates, and get out of poverty and be able to contribute to the storehouse to help others who fall on hard times. But no, the church, it's all about collecting money. And so, any surplus, boom, goes right to the church. 2, for the building of temples. You are not a worthy member if you do not pay up. That means it's not a donation, James Huntsman. Dumbass. Get these billionaires who know nothing about Mormonism. They're all privileged and know nothing of Mormonism. And so, yeah, tithing is a protection racket. To get the ordinances for the afterlife, with the church having no authority to do so, but nonetheless, they threaten you. You have to pay up in order to be saved in the afterlife, after you're dead. And they installed baptisms for the dead, so that you also have to pay to go to the temple to save your dead ancestors. That's a protection racket. That's a crime. It's a serious crime. Laying the foundation of Zion. That's the overthrow of the United States of America and the world governments. Thomas B. Marsh in his affidavit that caused the extermination order. Way to Perfection, Joseph Fielding Smith Sr., page 290, 291, and others. So, in the Council of Adam-on-Diamond, Jesus Christ will overthrow the governments of the world, and he shall give it to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The world will not know of it unless they watch my videos on YouTube. Brazil and the Philippines were last week. Mormons will not know of it. They cannot know of it, because you'd leave, right? If you knew the church was criminal, as you're now saying, oh, yeah, that's criminal, you're leaving, right? You will no longer go to this church. You will not go to settlement. But be warned, if you are living in this valley, the church is planning on murdering you. I'm hoping to remember to put the little clip from the previous video I did in the beginning of this video. The church is serious about this. They want their kingdom back. You, as an apostate, anti-Mormon, antichrist Korahor, are not wanted in their kingdom. Utah and all the West are their kingdom. And you are an anti-Mormon, antichrist, apostate Korahor. You've got to go, and you don't want to go, and so you're going to be murdered in the coming days. And so this is why they're doing the check of loyalty. Who is loyalty? I mean worthy. Where did I leave off? So that's what the temples are for. The protection racket. For the day that shall burn as an oven, and the church is the enemy that will come and burn you. They've paid the Judas price. The hitmen have been hired. It's coming in the coming days. And for the priesthood, well, that's in conformity with the Book of Mormon, isn't it? Priestcraft. Are you really that illiterate and stupid to not catch on that when the Book of Mormon says, the Lord says no priestcraft, And then the Lord's saying, priestcraft, that you're believing that, well, he can just change whatever he wants and it's okay. Do you not understand that this nullifies the Book of Mormon? The Book of Mormon is no longer true because section 119 is here. Seriously? You're that evil. And for the debts of the presidency of my church. Dear God. And this is only the beginning. And so, those listed to pay tithing must now pay an additional 1/10 of all their interest annually. And over the course of time, as the economy has changed in the United States of America from an agricultural society to an industrial and an office and now an internet economy, an OnlyFans economy, people can't afford a regular job anymore. YouTube's got all these videos of teachers who are going to OnlyFans and then getting fired from their teaching job, and they go, oh, okay, whatever. I get more money on OnlyFans. And then there's a teacher shortage. And the parents not getting a clue that they're so upset that the teachers are on OnlyFans for their kids to watch that they want them fired from their teaching job, whereas their kids are getting real sex education for once from OnlyFans from their teachers. And the parents want to ban porn. There is no winning for our kids. And so, yeah, this is a law. And it's for the gathering of Zion. And this is what the church is doing. In the coming days, that was his signal that he's about to coup the government in 2 years. Notice he failed in 2020, and so he repeated it in 2022 for this year. And so this is also before the election, which we are told will be a bloodbath. Win and lose. Either way, it's a bloodbath. It's coming. And the Democrats just held their convention of denialism. KK Kamala. Make Dems KKK again. Islamic terrorist supporter. Oh dear God, we are all doomed. 3rd Nephi, chapter 7. Do you believe the Book of Mormon? Well, Jesus did say it's no longer valid. Section 119. But this is what you have to watch for. The church is trying to get as much money as possible, because by doing this early, parents are going, oh crap, we can't procrastinate the payment of our tithing any further, which normally it was in December. Some bishops tried to do it in November because of the amount of time that it takes, but here it's September, before conference. And so, yes, like I said, we've got 9/11 coming up. We've got the Nelson death watch to watch for. Nelson is about to die. And so, yeah, that transition of authority. Is Oak's going to be brave enough to defy the powers that be that are striking down in a pattern of sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven, since Brigham Young's murder of Joseph Smith? So, yeah, lots of things to watch for, but this is something you need to be concerned with, especially as an ex-foe living in this valley of the church's property. Notice in the news last week, I covered it. The church is suing the federal government to get Utah's land back that they lost with the Edmund-Tucker Act. This all plays a part of it. And so, yes, it's not only a separation of the goats from the sensitive snowflake sheep. The church wants goats. But, which is right there with the Latter-day thing, and right after the talents, isn't it? Isn't it 10 virgins, talents, and then sheep and goat separation in 25? Am I remembering that correct in the order? But yeah, they're all about that. When the whistleblower came out, yeah, Nelson responds with the parable of the talents for the latter days. He's supposed to give the money to Jesus. Jesus isn't real. He's not going to give the money to Jesus. Jesus is going to give the government to him, though. But this is what they're doing. They're trying to make sure that they've got all the money they can get, scaring Mormons to make sure they're fully paid earlier this year, and then they know that something's coming. The day that shall burn as an oven. 9th Ave, the 9/11 of the Jews, was Elijah's pouring of the water on the altar. 9/11 is coming up. Is that going to be the day that shall burn as an oven? And they that come, paid by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, shall burn the Mormons? Are you really wanting to risk it? Are you really thinking that you can just sit on your couch and look at your phone, and if you die, it's God's will? Because you're fully paid and you'll be saved. Good luck with that. Dear God. Welcome to the jungle, Mormons. You're about to die. For those about to die, we salute you. Had 2 songs right there. Which do I choose?